Welcome to Time Off Quality Fishing Rigs. My name is Ward Schroeder. In this video, we're going to go over how we snell our hooks here at Time Off Quality Fishing Rigs. I'm not saying that this is the absolute best way to do it. There are a lot of different snells out there, a lot of different knots that people use. I will say that we have put a lot of thought process into how we snell our hooks at Time Off Quality Fishing Rigs. So if we look at these two hooks up close, they're the exact same hook. They actually came in on the same shipment, if I'm not mistaken. You will notice that the only difference between these two hooks is that the eyes, one curves to the right and one curves to the left. And that is very important to note, in our opinion, simply because when you are snailing these hooks, you do not want the running line end. That's going to be the end that has all the strain from a fish pulling on it, of course, coming into this crease right here. No, this crease in this instance is on the left-hand side. You do not want your running line coming up the left-hand side of the shank and digging in to that crease. Likewise, if it were curving to the right. So what we have to do is invert the knot. Pay attention to which way the eye of the hook is curving and tie the knot accordingly. This is an example of a beautiful knot, but not the way that we would do it per se. I wonder if I can get this into focus. Come on. Perfect. Well, close enough. In this one, you will see that this tag end is coming off the left-hand side and that the running line, the line that goes through the eye, is going on the right-hand side. We don't want that because this particular hook, the eye actually curves to the right-hand side. So when that line is under a lot of stress, that line is digging into that gap, which we think can compromise the integrity of the line. And that's definitely not what you want, especially if you're deep into a fight with the fish of a lifetime. You know, you hook a big cobia on the sand, you don't want that line being compromised at all. So what we try to do is have the line, this would be a hook where the guide does curve indeed to the right. You will notice that on this snail, that running line, the line that's going to have all the stress, comes up the left side of the hook, and the right hand side is where your tag end comes down. So it's really strong, good connection without it digging into that gap nearly as hard as if it were coming up the opposite side of the hook. So that's one thing that you really have to consider. You can tell that we put the thought into the process because it does indeed have the time off twist tie on that particular rig. All of our rigs, you will see that tie on them to know that you are getting quality time off. Let me show you another thing really quick that you would not want, or I should say that we don't want here at this company. You'll notice that this particular rig is a good tie, but that tag, if I can get it into focus, the tag on this particular rig comes over the running line before entering back into the coils. Our parallel barrel snails, you will notice, or I hope you'll be able to notice on this particular one, that barrel snail, that tag end dumps into the coils before crossing over the running line. And that's what makes those beautiful shots underneath the coils that you can't even see on video. Nice parallel tag to running line snail. And this is consistent. This is the consistency that we're going for at this company. Good, beautiful double barrel crimps that look like they've been single crimped because we're doing such a good job on our crimps. That is a 100-pound test line. You know, solid, consistent snails the right direction. And if the eye on the hook is bent in the opposite direction, we have to invert it and snell accordingly. So that's just one example. Let me give you one more quick example that I like to show just because it is a rather difficult snell. This is a hook that does not necessarily have that eye bent for the snell. So we have to snell it even though it does not have that bend to make it easy. And maybe we can see on this one how that tag line enters the coils before crossing over the running line. So again, we don't have that stress. This particular hook, it curves to the left with that crease being on the left-hand side of the bend. So the running line comes off the right-hand side of the shank. And that is exactly how we do it here at Time Off Quality Fishing. Listen, I hope you get some time off really, really soon. Get out there, get to go do some fishing. Thank you so much for checking us out. My name is Ward Schrotter.